Okay, we'll discuss this question, right? 7 minutes were allotted to you to make the structure of the answer and to write certain points. Most of you have written the points that was I desired, and most of you have left out the point which I desired, but most of you have also written that particular point. Remember that when I said that critically analyze RBI in controlling the inflation, not just how RBI is controlling inflation, but RBI how is it failing to control the inflation is important. Understood? So let's begin. See. Indian economy is subjected to the burden of price rise. Okay. So basically price rise is nothing but your inflation, right? So it's still inflation. So what exactly is inflation? I think most of you can. So what form of inflation that we are facing right now? It's price rise in the product, rise in the commodity, rise in the price of the commodities, right? Are we facing any kind of a staggering inflation or a creeping inflation? Creeping inflation. Creeping inflation. We are facing creeping inflation, right? Means the prices are rising but very slowly. But why the prices are rising? That is the important thing that we need to take up. Why the prices are rising? Why the prices are rising? Most of you have already given me some points. Quick, give me some points. Why there is a rise in price, please?
International events.
The international events, okay. Olympic is not the reason. Sorry, just do. International events, I will say, we'll say that the international. Should we write international events? Or what should be our heading? What he actually wanted to represent was that the Russo-Ukrainian war that is actually impacting right now the Indian economy and economy all over the world. Right? So, are we going to go say international event? No. We'll simply say that to the point, head to the answer. Simple is that war, the Russia-Ukraine war. Straight to the point, right? No need for the international event, right? Understood? Because international events, when I'm writing, we have to also mention a whole lot of things. Yes, see, right now trade war is the ongoing war. I will not deny that. But right now the major factor remains is the Russo-Ukrainian war. The Russo-Ukrainian war has presently pushed European Union into a recession, into a crisis. Same crisis is undergoing London also. London, as you all know, is out of the European Union right now. Sorry, United Kingdom is out of the European Union right now. Done? See. First is the Russo-Ukrainian war. Done? Next, what else? International scenario. Since you said international, I will go first with international scenario. But first, you should address the domestic scenario, then you should go for the international scenario. Right, domestic problems, what the domestic problems we are facing, then go for the international scenario. Okay. In the international scenario again, what is happening in the USA? What is happening in the US Federal Bank? It is increasing its interest rate, as a result of which what is happening is that your dollar flight from India. India is facing the dollar flight from India. So we have investment crisis. Though our forex level is proper, it can be sustained, but it's falling. That is a cause of concern, right? But let me address this question very systematically. Let us first come to the domestic problem. What is the domestic problem? See, due to the rise of the prices of the crude oil. Crude oil, number one is crude oil. Crude oil prices are rising. Right? India right now is facing the difficulty in maintaining the level of the rise of the crude oil. once your petrol prices are rising, what will happen is that food price will automatically rise. Core inflation is rising right now. Understood? Increasing the core inflation. So one of the biggest cause of the price rise is crude oil, rise in the prices of the crude oil. Next is that the export of the food products outside India. Sugar, see, we cannot ban our export industry, because the moment we ban our export industry, our forex reserve will fall drastically. Though India is so as to control this limitation, Indian government has come up with certain strategies so as to import the ban. That's one of the problems. What else? What else is the domestic problem?
Supply demand mismatch.
Supply and demand mismatch. That is, we are facing the supply shock. Right now we are facing the supply shock inflation. What else is the problem?
So wage rate and the factor production rate is also increased.
Increasing the factor production rate. Okay.
Rising CPI recent.
Okay, done. This is basically a 15 markers question to 10 to 15 markers question. Over here, this is the main question that it is actually saying. This is what you are writing, that will be in the intro part. Marks you will fetch it over here in the second part of the question. In this context, analyze the RBI's role. Sorry, in this context, critically analyze RBI's role. First of all, what is RBI doing right now? What is RBI doing?
Monetary policy.
Okay, monetary policy is number one. What is the RBI's monetary policy? RBI is slowly increasing the repo rate. What is repo rate?
Repo rate is the rate upon which the RBI gives loan to the commercial
Bank. To be very precise, repo rate is the rate in which RBI lends short-term loans to the bank. Short-term is very important. We do not need to write, but what has been the RBI's role? Number one is the monetary policy, increase in the repo rate. What else?
Managing foreign reserves.
Okay, managing of the forex reserves. Now this is important. We cannot just say managing of the forex reserve, but RBI what it is constantly been trying to do is that it is preventing the fall of the Indian rupee. Inflation over here is not just domestic inflation, but inflation which is imported inflation. See, price is rising in India, but there are certain things that we import from outside India. What we are importing from outside India? Coal, especially coal we are importing. Coking coal we are importing from outside India, from Australia, Indonesia. In that context, think of it. Once our prices started to rise, of that the rupee falls against the dollar, what will happen? If the rupee is falling against the dollar, import will become costly. So RBI, what is RBI doing? RBI is selling its forex in the where? In the international market to stabilize the rupee, right? So rupee stabilization. So our point should be rupee stabilization. To the point answer, rupee stabilization. Okay, first will be that increasing the repo rate or the monetary policies will be the first point. Second point will be stabilization of the Indian rupee. What else is the RBI doing?
Selling the government security in the market.
Okay, right now RBI has started the OMO operation. It has started selling the government security. Government security to whom? To the public or to the banks?
To the banks.
Very precise, and to the banks. It has started selling the government security to the banks. Once the government securities are being sold to the banks, what will happen? The bank's power or the liquidity of the bank will reduce. The power of lending will reduce, and the money flow will reduce in the market. So open market operation will be the third point, right? Number one, monetary policy, increasing of the repo rate. Number two, rupee stabilization through selling of the forex or dollars in the market, right? Number three, OMO. What else? Sovereign gold bond right now, let's see. Yes, sovereign gold bond can be a thing that The government, it's the government's policy. It's the government's policy that let us sell sovereign gold bond, so that what is happening is that Indians have a whole appetite of gold. शादी में सोना, हर जगह सोना, सोना ही सोना. So that gold is important to remember. India do not have a reserve of gold. Gold is very much low in India, right? India is dependent upon gold import. Like India is dependent upon the import of this fuel, India is also dependent upon the import of the gold. So the government's initiative has been the sovereign gold bond, so as to reduce the gold import. RBI has mandated certain banks which can sell the sovereign gold bonds, and on that basis they are trying to reduce the import of gold. Done. What else? What else? What else is the RBI doing? Done. With this only. Quantitative measures, yes, quantitative measures is also qualitative measures, more persuasions.
Yes, sir.
What else?
So you can set up a committee which will analyze
Well, that will come in the way forward. But
Okay.
did we come with 5 points or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Did we reach 5 points?
Yes.
Good. What is the problem with right now with respect to RBI? Where RBI is lacking? Important. Number one, time lag in implementation of the policy.
Yes, sir.
Right? Please write down the point. I would say that causes of the RBI's failure, that would be my heading, causes of the RBI's failure. Number one is that time lag in implementing the policies, right? RBI will implement its. How does the RBI controls inflation? Through the Monetary Policy Committee. It is the very major duty of the Monetary Policy Committee to control the inflation. 4 plus or minus. The 4 plus or minus 2. That is the target of RBI. If you cannot understand, please ask me down. Do the question and clear it up. Right? There is no point that this is a very advanced class, and if you are not able to understand, directly ask me down. Okay. So the Monetary Policy Committee, what happens is that there is a time lag in implementation. Supposing the Monetary Policy Committee says that we will increase the repo rate. Monetary Policy Committee will decide that with respect to that. If the Monetary Policy Committee says that we will increase the repo rate, if they are deciding it on August, they will implement it in October.
Yes, sir.
What will happen? So the point, what was the point?
Time lag in implementing the policy.
Time lag of 2 months in implementing the policy by the Monetary Policy Committee. Right? Give a hyphen and then write down. Time lag of more than 2 months by MPC in implementing the policy. Done? Okay, first of all, did you write the point or did you not write the point? Please understand this. How you should be writing. Time lag in implementing policy. Underline this. Then write time lag of
More than
2 months to implement Monetary Policy Committee done. Understood how to write? Next point, RBI's prioritization. RBI's prioritization, that is RBI's prioritization of growth over inflation. Spelling of the prioritization: PRIORITI. RBI's prioritization over growth than inflation. Give a high pen and then understand this point. It says that, you see, first of all we said that the RBI is increasing the repo rate, but what is the problem is that not just while increasing the repo rate, RBI is not increasing at a very high. Why? What will happen? If the RBI increases, all of a sudden the RBI increases the repo rate by 2 basis points.
So either this industry sector will be affected, but then
Most sectors will be affected because the lending will become costly, or I say, the borrowing
availability
will
of the
become
capital.
costly.
The availability of the capital will be very
Availability of the capital will reduce.
also share market will be
Yes, it will impact the share market.
Yes.
Availability of the capital will reduce. That are major points that needs to be taken up, right? Understood? With this context, so what RBI is doing, that the RBI is saying that as per RBI, the growth and inflation control has to go hand in hand. If we are controlling inflation right now, what will happen? It will affect the growth. Understood? So how should you write the point? That the RBI is balancing between growth and inflation, and RBI is not targeting the inflation directly. Understood? Because it is very slow in increasing the repo rate. Understood? Done? What will be the third point? Lack of synchronization between the monetary policy and fiscal policy. Right? What else?
the external factor also affect the monetary policy for the
See,
up and down.
see,
lack of
Uh-huh.
Lack of synchronization.
between monetary policy and which policy?
fiscal policy.
Both monetary policy and fiscal policy should be targeted towards inflation. RBI's monetary policy will not target towards the inflation. See, understood? Now, way forward. Directly come to way forward. You understood where the RBI is actually lacking? 3 points where the RBI is actually lacking. This was in the news recently. Do you know why this was in the news? Recently what happens is that your monetary policy committee will submit a report to the government in writing that why it has not been able to control the inflation. And that was in the news recently because it is a secretive document. It will not be made public. This is one of the features of the monetary policy committee, that it has to explain in writing to the government that why it will not be able to handle the inflation target. Understood? Any doubts with respect to that? Good. Next. What is the way forward? Way forward, please. Points from you. What should be the way forward?
So we can increase our forex reserve through import substitution and export
Okay.
investment.
Very good. We can, first of all, we need to preserve our forex. We need to target the, let us see, inflation, we got 2 kinds of inflation. First inflation is that the domestic inflation resulting in the price rise. Another kind of inflation is the import inflation, that is due to the fall in the Indian rupee. Now with respect to, first is the domestic inflation, the inflation of the rise in the food prices, what we can do? What we can do right now?
We can provide subsidies.
No subsidies. Right now we need to control our exports.
Yes.
We need to control our export. Our food, if it is goes out of India, then obviously inside India the prices will rise or fall. will rise because supply shock will be created over there.
Already we are seeing in case of rice and sugar products.
Right. So we need to control the supply shock. Bujhi Borjun supply shock mane?
Yes, sir.
That is number one. Number two, what else? Control in the exports. Next.
Reserve foreign exchange.
That will come. That will come.
Sir, we can check the holding of the.
Right. That's the perfect point. That's we need to check upon the hoarding, black marketing. We have to stress upon that. We need to a proper check on the hoardings and black marketing. Understood? What else? Okay. See, promotion of the e-vehicle can help in reduction of the petrol dependency and fossil fuel dependency. But again, that has to be fast forwarded. Right? India has to report its import dependency. Simple. India has to reduce its import dependency with respect to oil and gold. Understood? India has to reduce its import dependency with respect to oil and gold so as to preserve your forex. Done? What else can be? Right. That is an important thing. That is why we are focusing in the way forward. We are focusing more on the fiscal policy, and we are also focusing out of bound fiscal policy, where the government should look into outside for procurement. What else will be the point? What can be the more points? What more points? Think of it.
So we can change the consumer behavior.
Okay, that is important. That is very, very important. See, first of all, how do we change the consumer behavior to consumer awareness? But what exactly consumer behavior that we need to change? We need to, please.
Recently, millet mission agency.
Okay, millet mission. See, right now the consumer behavior needs to be changed with respect to what?
With respect to the.
Let us say, I'll give you my point. My point being that let us promote rather than traveling with your own vehicle. Let us promote public transport. The public transport, ultimately your vehicles, that your dependency on the fuel will reduce. Your fuel dependency will reduce. What else can be the point? See, in general we need to write 3 to 4 points for the way forward, nothing to jump upon.
We need more focus on the make in India.
Make in India is an important thing. We need
China.
when I said we need to reduce our import dependency, let us promote e-vehicle to reduce our fuel dependency. Let us promote make in India to reduce our import dependency. We are highly dependent upon the import of the semiconductors.
Yes.
Right? Understood? Good.